are doing today is very simple. We are going to go through my ranking ball board, and I will show you how I pick my players and how I set them up. So we are going to actually bring you a very interesting game. So we thought we'd bring you something a little different. What we're going to bring you is the New York Yankees against the Tampa Bay Rays. So when I'm picking my board, one of the first things I want to do is I want to look at the matchups, right? It's going to give them a little write-up if you don't know the teams. Like, I really haven't followed the Rays much this year, so there's not a lot, if I'm being honest, that I know about them. But then it also gives you batters against these pitchers, and it gives their averages, at-bats, that kind of thing. So there's a lot of information here that you can kind of just take. So this is my board on Ranking Ball, the application, the app that you can get at the Play Store or at the App Store, right? Yes, the App Store. This is what my setup looks like. Now, it's very simple, very easy, and so right off the bat, you can tell that I've gone with Tampa Bay, and I know Tampa Bay just won, and the likelihood of Tampa Bay winning again is probably low, but I want to pick with my heart on this one, and I know you shouldn't do that when it comes to these type of matches, let's say, but I think Tampa Bay is fighting for a lot more than New York. I think New York at this point is already thinking about the postseason. They're already moving. They're already looking ahead. Not saying that they don't want to win right now, but this game means a lot more to Tampa Bay than it does to New York. That's just an honest fact at this point. So now the way that I've set them up, obviously, is what you want to look at. So again, the bottom, so the top horizontal line, the left vertical line are worth 1.1 times. So whatever Aguilar, Lowe, and Meadows get, if they all have 1 point, that's 3 points, and you times that by 1.1, and it's the same for Aguilar, Choi, and Judge. Same thing, 1.1 times. Now, if you were in the bottom horizontal or the right vertical line, those are going to be worth 1.2 times. So if you add up, say, LeMahieu, Torres, and Meadows, they all have 1 point, that's 3 points, you times that by 1.2. Now, if you're in the middle, so Torres and Choi and the pitching, they all have 1 point, you add that up, 3 points times 1.3. Very simple. Same with the vertical. So that's how those two work. Now, the diagonals, though, are going to be different. So LeMahieu and Aguilar and the pitching, that's going to be worth 1.5 times. So again, 1 point each, so 3 points total, 3 times 1.5. Very simple math. That's how they add up. So when I focus on my board, I always think that bottom right-hand corner is going to be the key point. So LeMahieu, I believe, is going to have the best game out of anybody else on the field. So if I put him in that bottom right-hand corner, I need him to perform. But that also sets me up for a few other things. It sets me up with the diagonal with Aguilar, but also I need to focus on the 1.2. The 1.3, if I'm being completely honest, the 1.3, if I get them, cool, but I try to rely more on diagonals, and I try to rely on the 1.2. So that's kind of how I play Ranking Ball, and it usually gets me within the top 10, if not the top 5. So that's kind of my strategy on this. And so if you look at the way the board's set up, I have a lot of New York setting up on the bottom, and then I have New York with Torres, obviously, and then Meadows in the top right corner. So that's how I set it up. But I do think that Aguilar and LeMahieu will have good games, and obviously that's where I'm going to get the diagonal. Meadows and Judge, I think that they'll both have, if not good games, at least reasonable games where they get on base, a couple singles, doubles, maybe a home run. That covers me in the other diagonal. And that's where, those are kind of my focus. And now if the rest of it fills in terms of the 1.2s and the 1.3s, I'll take it. Again, 1.1, not really concerned, but definitely the 1.2s and the 1.5s. That's where my focus is, because I want to get the main points, and that's my thought process. Again, you see that the lineups are not set. The pitchers for New York are not set. I might change this board early tomorrow morning or tomorrow during the day when they announce the lineups. But as of right now, this is what my board is, this is what I like, and this is how I think I will do well in Ranking Ball. So that's how I set up my board. So if you want to join me, and if you want to play with me, against me, or whatever you want to do, if you want to copy my board, or if you want to take points, or if you think that there's other things that I could do better, let me know. And that's kind of how but again, that's just how I run my board. And I just kind of wanted to give you guys some insight, and I know we've talked about this before, but that's, like I said, that's how I run it, and I'm usually top 5, top 10. So that being said, if the Tampa Bay pitcher bombs and New York puts up 10 runs or something like that, I'm going to be like, out of say 80 people, I'm going to be like probably 50 or 60th. So, I mean, that's just how it is. So, you know, you win some, you lose some, but that's it. So that's how I run my board, and I hope you guys learned something. And if you have any ideas, thoughts, comments, let us know, let me know. Leave them in the comments. You can also subscribe to us or follow us on Instagram and Twitter at RankingBall. And don't forget to download on your mobile devices the RankingBall app so you can play along with and against me. So, thank you very much, and we will see you next time. Goodbye.